I know you gonna dig this.
Get funky with me.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? Here I'm high up in Beverly Hills, like 2 miles up on Benedict Canyon Drive. And I've driven up and down Benedict Canyon Drive many times. And there's a house here I always want to visit and do a story on. Never stopped because it's always busy. It's very early in the morning, so I'm thinking I'm able to do it. And it's going to be tricky because there's cars all parked right out in front. So I was thinking about while I was driving over here, we all love superheroes, most of us, I think. And we all have certain superheroes or people that play the superhero that we love. Like when it comes to Batman, I'm a Michael Keaton fan. Some people love Christian Bale. Some people love Ben Affleck. Yeah. Some people love Adam West. Now, when it comes to Superman, I think a lot of us think of Christopher Reeves. Right? I mean, he's Superman. I think so. But there's lots of other actors who have played Superman. Henry Cavill, Brandon Routh. Did I pronounce Cavill right? I don't think I've ever said his name out loud. I've only read it. Henry Cavill. Oh, there's somebody coming out of the house. Boy, this is going to be difficult to film. Alright, it's okay. But before Christopher Reeve, before Dean Cain, there was George Reeves. George Reeves started a TV show called The Adventures of Superman back in the 50s. It was a very popular show. He was very popular Superman. He had a great affection for his younger viewers. However, in this house right here, at the age of, I believe, only 45 years old in 1959, he died of a gunshot wound. And it's controversial. Was it a murder or did he take his own life? Still to this day, people ask questions. It's said that he took his own life. But a lot of people wonder, did someone kill Superman? Right here. So there's the house right there. As you can see, it's getting really busy along here. This is a major thoroughfare down to Beverly Hills from the valley. People just up and down Bandit Canyon. But that's the house right there. Now, I just did see somebody come out of the house, and I think they're still walking around the property. So I'm going to be a little discreet. I'm going to tell you what happened in that house. George Reeves was a very skilled amateur boxer and musician. He interned as an actor at the famed Pasadena Playhouse. He performed in dozens of plays and was discovered there by a casting director. He was then cast as Stuart Tarleton in Gone with the Wind. While shooting the film, he appeared in another play at the Pasadena Playhouse and was seen there and signed by Warner Brothers. Over the next 10 years, he was contracted to Warner's, Fox, and Paramount. It was television where he achieved the kind of fame that had eluded him in films, as he was cast in the lead of the now iconic Adventures of Superman in 1952. He got a few other film roles in the early 1950s, but he was mostly typecast as Superman, and other acting jobs soon dried up. His career had slid to the point where he was considering an attempt at exhibition wrestling. When he was found shot in the head in his Beverly Hills home here, police quickly ruled his death a suicide. However, many people believe that he was murdered. Prior to George's death, he'd been dating Toni Mannix, even though she was still married to her husband, Eddie Mannix, who was vice president of MGM. For unknown reasons, he seemed to be fine with Toni and George's relationship. Then, in 1958, George broke up with her. She was devastated, but he moved on quickly. He soon began dating Leonora Lemon, who had a notorious reputation. She was known for causing many fights and altercations. They were reportedly engaged in 1959. Now, George apparently had financial problems prior to his death. Toni and Eddie apparently gave him large amounts of money while he and Toni were dating. Once they broke up, however, he had little money to spend on his lavish lifestyle. He had little income because he hadn't filmed a new Superman episode in 2 years. On the night of his death, George had several friends over. By midnight on the night of June 16, 1959, only Leonore and writer Robert Condon were still at his house with him. 2 neighbors stopped by, hoping to join the party. He got angry at them for being very loud. Leonore Lemon was allegedly upset at the way he was handling the situation. Now off to the right, above the window, which is the living room, that's where the bedroom is. And apparently, around 1:30 a.m., George went to bed and announced he was going to bed. And then Leonore Lemon made a statement saying something along the lines of, he's going to shoot himself. And then shortly thereafter, she said again, he's getting the gun out and he's going to shoot himself. Moments later, a gunshot rang out and everybody rushed upstairs to find out what the heck was going on in George Reeves' bedroom. Now, one theory is that after this altercation, George told Leonora that he did not plan to marry her. She became angry, pulled out a gun, which they struggled over. The theory suggests that he was then accidentally shot by her. According to reports, the guest took over half an hour to call the police. When examining the .30 caliber gun used to kill George, authorities found no fingerprints. The shell casing was found beneath his naked body, even though if it was a suicide, it would have fallen away from this spot. While some researchers believe that Leonora killed George, others believe that Toni and or Eddie killed him. One theory suggests that Eddie, tired of hearing Toni lament over the breakup, hired someone to kill him. The theory claims that his house was an open house, quote-unquote, and that people could easily walk in and out without anyone else noticing. However, other researchers believe that the murder theory is unlikely. Although the suicide, quote-unquote, believers point to the lack of powder burns on George, it is known that if a person puts a gun directly to their skin, the powder will go inside the body. Also, if they held the gun a certain way, the shell casing could have fallen underneath his body. And then finally, Jack Larson, one of his co-stars, believes that he killed himself because he was unable to get a job and had no access to money. And to this day, there's still a debate as to whether or not George committed suicide. I should add that that's a more modest house, the one right there, George's house. There's a lot of huge, exactly what you would expect in Beverly Hills, all around. That's definitely more of a modest house. I'm sure it's worth a lot of money. Saying like Cielo Drive is just not too far from here, and where Jeff Franklin, the Full House producer, built the house where the Manson house used to be, which is like a huge. The house is bigger than like Grand Central Station, and look up there. There's houses everywhere all around. They're huge, but it's more of a modest house. It's been here a long time. Now we're going to drive all the way across the city, and we're going to go visit the final resting place of George Reeves and pay our respects. All right, let's go. Superman, my beloved son, Superman, George Bessolo Reeves, January 6, 1914 to June 16th, 1959. Looks like possibly his sister, 1870, Regina, 1870, grandmother, and mother, I think, is the last name. Here's George Reeves. That's my visit to George Reeves' final resting place here at Mountain View Cemetery in Pasadena, California. So you're going to come into the main cemetery area through the main gates, because there's side gates right here. Just do a little loop around. Mausoleum's off to the right. Come in the mausoleum, go right to your left to that columbarium. And that's where George Reeves is. Thank you for watching. Rest in peace, George Reeves, and peace